All right, let's just jump right into it with a kind of crazy question. You know that legendary great white whale, Moby Dick? What if he's not just a whale? What if he's actually America's first kaiju?
So in one corner, you've got this absolute titan of literature from the 19th century, right? The creature that didn't just haunt the seas, it haunted the obsessed mind of Captain Ahab. And let's be real, this was never just a whale. It was way more than that. A symbol, a legend, a force of pure nature.
And in the other corner, you've got the modern monster genre we all know and love, Kaiju. And you know who the king is? Godzilla. We're talking giant, city-stomping monsters, figures of pure destruction, but also, sometimes, they're tragic. So the big question is, what happens when you bring these two worlds crashing together? So here's how we're going to crack this case. We'll start with the big question itself. Then we'll figure out what exactly makes a kaiju. After that, we'll build a profile on the white whale, run them through a checklist, and then we'll deliver the final verdict. Let's do this.
Okay, let's kick things off. A whale of a question.
You know, this is really the heart of it all today. We're talking classic literature meets monster cinema. It feels like two totally separate worlds, right? You've got Herman Melville's masterpiece on one side and these epic Japanese monster flicks on the other. Our whole goal here is to see if there's a secret, monstrous connection hiding in plain sight. All right, next up, before we can make any judgments, we gotta know the rules. It's time to establish the profile. What exactly is a kaiju? Okay, first things first, let's get the definition down. The word kaiju, it's Japanese, and it literally translates to strange beast. Simple, right? But that's the foundation for everything. And I want you to notice that word, strange. It's not just big beast or monster beast. It's strange beast. That's key. But you know, it goes so much deeper than just a simple translation. Check out this quote from Ishiro Honda. He's the director of the original Godzilla. He said, "Monsters are tragic beings. They are not evil by choice. That is their tragedy." Wow. I mean, that adds this whole other layer, doesn't it? These aren't just mindless monsters. They're often complex, even tragic figures. That's a huge part of the profile.
And the term kaiju itself is super flexible. You've got all these different variations. Like kaicho is a monster bird. Think Radan. Kaichu is a monster insect. But I really want you to focus on this one right here, kaiju. Now this one's spelled a little differently, with a different kanji character. And this one means sea beast. Just tuck that little piece of info away for later. It's going to be important. Okay, so we have our definition of kaiju locked and loaded. Now, let's turn our attention to the main event. It's time to build the profile on the white whale himself. And to do that, we have to go straight to the source, Captain Ahab. I mean, listen to how he describes the whale. He calls it the monomaniacal incarnation of all those perverse forces. It's intense stuff. Ahab isn't seeing an animal here, not at all. To him, this whale is the literal embodiment of every evil thing in the world. And Moby Dick has the raw power to earn that kind of reputation. Ahab says it himself. "It was Moby Dick that dismasted me. It was Moby Dick that condemned me to this stump." I mean, there's no question here. This whale is a destructive, powerful force that can tear apart ships and men. It's a legitimate threat. But it gets even weirder, because the sailors on the ship, they see him as something else, something not quite of this world. They start giving him all these supernatural qualities. They believe he has ubiquity, that he can be spotted in totally different parts of the world at the same time. They think he's immortal, that he just can't be killed. They talk about his intelligent perversity, like a calculating evil mind. And even the color of the whale, its whiteness, becomes this source of vague, unspeakable horror. This is way beyond just a big fish. Okay, so we've got our kaiju profile. We've got our suspects file. You know what time it is? It's time for the cross-examination. Let's run Moby Dick through our kaiju checklist and see if the pieces fit.
All right, let's do this. Let's go down the list. Trait 1, strange beast. Well, the book calls him a monster so portentous and enigmatic. So that's a big check. Trait 2, giant size. The text says he's an immense form with a high pyramidal hump. Check. Trait 3, destructive force. He wrecked Ahab's leg and, yep, destroyed his boats. That's a massive check. And the last one, the deep one, tragic figure? I'd say so. He's this hunted creature caught up in this fatal dance because of one man's obsession. That fits Ishiro Honda's idea perfectly. The profile is lining up?
So the evidence is looking pretty strong, right? But there's one more thing. There's one final piece of evidence that honestly just might be the smoking gun, and it's been hiding right there in the name the whole time.
And here it is. This is the moment it all clicks into place. Remember that other spelling, that variation of the word I told you to remember? Kaiju, the one spelled with the character for sea, literally means sea beast. It's not a metaphor, it's not a stretch. Moby Dick is, by the most literal definition of the word, a kaiju, a sea beast. It doesn't get much clearer than that.
So, with all the cards on the table, it's time to make the call. The final verdict.
Look, Moby Dick is a creature of immense size and terrifying power. He's treated like a force of nature, a supernatural being with a cunning mind. And, as we just saw, he is, by the literal Japanese definition, a sea beast. So the verdict is in. Moby Dick isn't just a whale, he's a literary proto-kaiju. He's basically one of the earliest ancestors of the giant monsters we see on screen today.
And that just leaves us with one last, really cool idea to chew on. If the great white whale is one of the first kaiju, a strange beast from the depths of classic literature, it makes you wonder, right? What other monsters might be hiding in the pages of old books, just waiting to be recognized?